The Saudi Arabian expansion mission. This is the Savvy Gaming Group made another major purchase, and it wasn't Blast. We were all, oh, is it going to be Blast? Is it going to be Blast? No, it wasn't Blast. It was VSPO, a company you probably haven't heard of. It is a Chinese esports company. So this is a report by Lewis Mira, obviously a dessert or colleague of mine, the editor of the section. I think people often think I'm in charge because they see the word editor. I'm not. If anything, Lewis is in charge of me. But now that I'm a contributing editor and not an editor at large, I'm basically just like whatever the fuck, you know. Saudi Arabian games and esports company Savvy Games Group has announced that it has invested $265 million into VSPO, a Chinese tournament operator. The deal, which remains subject to required regulatory clearances and approvals and the satisfaction of other closing conditions, will see Savvy Games Group become the largest equity holder in VSPO. According to a press release, the investment will help VSPO deliver on its global strategy and increase the scale of its mobile esports operations with a particular focus on the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Remember when I told you that one of the things that was going to happen was ESL was going to just massively expand its platform? Remember when we did that video where we looked at all of the predictions and they were all talking about mobile gaming is the future of esports? And I said they're only saying that because they've already got big contracts with all these like freemium games and stuff in markets in, you know, the Middle East, China, Southeast Asia. This is a case of we're going to make something happen, then retroactively say that the thing that was always going to happen was going to happen without our intervention because we will be like the sole beneficiary of the thing happening. That's like a hood classic right there. The announcement is part of Saudi Arabia's ambitious plan to become a global hub for gaming and esports by the end of the decade. That's obviously the Crown Prince saying that directly. They want to become the global hub for esports. Good luck, my LGBTQ friends. Good luck, women who want to have autonomy and not have to cover themselves, you know, in a super hot country just to go out there. Good luck, women competitors who want to play their sports, because this is the way it's all going, by the way, guys. We are not welcome anymore. You understand? They're increasingly making it so we're not welcome, and we're allowing it every day, and everyone's enabling it because they're making fistfuls of cash. Anyway, and that's part of their Kingdom Vision 2030 project. In September 2022, the Savvy Games Group, which is fully owned by the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund, outlined 142 billion Saudi Arabian, whatever, I don't even know the name of the Saudi Arabian money, how ignorant of me, but SAR, but that's like $37.9 billion. That includes the acquisition of a leading game publisher and investment in key companies within the esports sector. This is a significant strategic investment for the Savvy Games Group, one of Asia's preeminent esports organizations, said Brian Ward. Brian Ward, by the way, the guy who went online and said, I would never work with, I have a daughter that I love dearly, and I would never work with any organization or entity that would oppress her. And then, you know, like, said that when asked about how do you justify working with Saudi Arabia. It's like, no, they absolutely would oppress her. Why would your daughter be any different to all the women in Saudi Arabia? Why would your daughter be different to all the Saudi Arabian women that, like, had to fight to get the right to vote in, like, the modern civilized era, had to fight for the right to, like, be able to leave their homes without their husband, to be able to drive and just do, like, basic things? Why would your daughter be any different if she lived there? They're locking up women, criticizing Saudi Arabian rules and laws for 35 to 45 years because Twitter let Saudi Arabian spies infiltrate its platform. Why would your daughter be any different, Brian? You've never really reconciled this idea in your head. The transaction marks the biggest cash investment ever made in an esports organization and shows our confidence in the potential of this fast-growing sector. Through Savvy's investments, we are seeking to play a significant role in the sustainable growth and development of the global gaming industry, which will enable technology innovators like VSPO to facilitate broader, more equitable access to the dynamic esports market. Now, this is an interesting phrase. I heard this a lot when I was down doing my ESIC talk, which I've asked for a copy of the speech. As soon as I get it, it'll be up on YouTube. I might even just stream it. It's straight fire. This is how this word equitable It's how they're explaining away working with the most malignant human rights violators on the planet. It's equitable. What do they mean by that? What they're saying is everyone has a right to be in esports, and it would be wrong of us not to work with China. It would be wrong of us not to work with Saudi Arabia, because we'd be denying the good people there the equitable access to esports. It's a trick. It's a trick because they're trying to get you to go, oh yeah, you're right, the players, the people who want to play, they didn't do anything. It's the governments what are to blame. And then simultaneously, they are going to get you to vitriolically dehumanize Russian people because of the invasion of Ukraine. It is a mindfuck, guys, and if you fall for it, I hate to break it to you, you're the morons. Deny the fucking programming when you see this language. It is a semiotic linguistic trick. Don't fall for it. This is how they will explain. Well, yes, Saudi Arabia are bad, but the Saudi Arabian people are good, and we want to give them an esports experience. What about the women? What about the LGBTQ people? If it's equitable, equitable means it's equitable. This is what they're going to do. This is how they're going to frame it, and people will fall for it. And you will hear in 2023, every time one of these poisonous deals are done, you will hear the word equitable over and over and over and over again until you might actually believe it. But it isn't equitable. It can never be equitable. It can only be equitable when the laws in that country change and homosexuality isn't criminalized and women aren't dehumanized. That's the only time it can be equitable, by definition. And this is the bit where we get to speculate. This is a significant transaction for Savvy and gives us a major foothold in the important Asia region. We are looking forward to diversifying, there it is again, equity, diversification, our geographic footprint alongside VSPO, a leading player in the world's biggest esports market. This investment is part of our long-term commitment to growing a thriving global esports community and further positioning the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as a leading global hub for games and esports. Remember how when Brian Ward was interviewed in that same interview, he said that ridiculous farcical thing about his own daughter? He also said, anyway, we have many people. We have a board. We're not Saudi Arabian controlled, even though the Crown Prince is the chairman of the board. You have to agree to that to get funding from the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund. Their only shareholder, by the way, is the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund. They are entirely owned by it. Why is Brian Ward coming out and releasing statements saying, and we, definitely not owned by the Saudis, definitely not run by the Saudis, are making decisions to help the glorious nation of Saudi Arabia? Have you fucking heard yourself? You are now literally a mouthpiece for the people bombing Yemen into extinction. You're an esports organization, and you are now going beyond to, we must make glorious the great nation of Saudi Arabia. You're beyond a shill, mate. You've lost your fucking soul, you cunt. It's unreal. And in any other sane industry, they would be boycotted. Somewhere, somebody slipped in, no ethical consumption under capitalism, homie, and we all just, like, tacitly accept it. Yeah, you're right, boycotts are bad, I guess, and waste of time. What can you do? We let corporations become more and more evil to the point where they are wholly evil, and they are beyond any criticism, and they hold up a shield and go, fiduciary duty, fiduciary duty, fiduciary duty, and we all go, oh yeah, they have got a fiduciary duty. I mean, they're just making money. It's just capitalism. It's just how the world works. And the world keeps fucking turning and turning and fucking turning and turning. And it gets worse every single solitary year. And you have less and less. And you're told to do more and more. And you keep going, well, you know, but if I take a stand against it, and what if I lose this thing? And what if I lose this thing? And they're going to take all those things anyway, my friends. You're not going to have them. Your pension's not going to be there. The second you go to claim it, whatever you're holding on to, they will take it away from you. Understand that. But it's fine, you know, hey, this is okay, I guess. This version of living, right? Sorry, fuck, totally lost my fucking mind there. This is a stream about esports. So this is where we get to speculate. They're moving into China. Why is this relevant to your interest? Lots of things going on here. China has recently, they had a 2-year conservative moral panic, I guess you can frame it as. They had a 2-year moral panic where they started doing very strange things. Again, I've made videos about this. It's like, I think I did a video called The Glorious Chinese Freedom Hour. There's like a picture of Winnie the Pooh in it because I'm fucking juvenile. They were basically like effeminate TV hosts. So if you're a man and you've got, you know, very effeminate features, they were like, we can't do that. It's corrupt in the youth. They've got to go. Get them out. You could only buy 2 CDs because they didn't CDs again. Look at this boomer. Because they didn't want to encourage stan culture. They thought that might be corrupting the fucking youth. video games where if you were under 18, you had to use facial recognition technology to like log in for a mandated 4-hour period on weekends only because they don't want you gaming your life away. There was loads of crazy shit going on. They banned did they ban K-pop? No, that was North Korea, my bad. So they've now relaxed all of that stuff, and they're now opening the doors again because they realize it's good for business, and they're very business focused. They brought in line all of the big tech companies in China, and so now what we're getting is these big entities are starting to make games again. Valorant's going to be released out there. That's obviously Tencent, and so people are now sort of coming back. So this was a very good time to buy this company because obviously esports events in China are going to happen. Now, what makes me curious is the timing of this. There was a rumor going around, if you remember, the second major this year was going to be in China. It was going to be an Asian major for the first time ever in history. And that meant that it was probably going to be run by Perfect World. They're PGL's partners and Valve's partners. They handle Valve's business in China and obviously run tournaments and have run a bunch of terrible tournaments. But anyway, that's what people were speculating was going to happen. And now you see this acquisition at this time. It does make me wonder whether we are, A, going to see that major in China, which will be an unmitigated disaster, and that would probably be it for me. I think if there was ever a major in an actual Valve-approved major in China or Riyadh, I'm out. That is it for me. Like, CS will officially be dead rather than just like some fucked up jilted ex I can't stop talking about. I'll be out. But more importantly, it's obviously going to be a way to essentially monetize more successfully all of their mobile gaming output, like first and foremost. But it also gives them this huge like territorial reach into the Chinese region where, CSGO is becoming... and Dota, obviously, which ESL do, it's popular there, and obviously currently exists in a theoretically competition-free environment. The glorious kingdom of Saudi Arabia bringing you esports events in tyrannical China. Isn't that just perfect? A marriage made in heaven.